You gonna watch the Tartaria response video by Mind Unveiled? Oh, I actually saw that in my recommended. I forgot all about that. That was such a surprise. Where is it? I think they were dunking on me for not being a believer in Tartaria. So it was an hour-long response to like our 15 minutes of me confounded by the Tartaria belief. It was just like too long, so I didn't sit down and watch it, but goddamn. I think the resub precise. Watch with us? I don't know, man. It's an hour. Like I love the sillier beliefs like Tartaria, Atlantis, and all that, but I don't really want an hour's worth of explanation on old maps and why it's proof that Tartaria was once this outrageously advanced technological civilization planted and erased. It's just, ugh. Alright, I'll check out the beginning, I guess. But yeah, it's just a little
What's
much.
up, everybody? Begins with all our taught history being, for the most part, a lie. So much
Yeah,
so
I remember that
it's
from the
mind-numbing to even
brief
fathom.
summation.
Sure, there are likely some truths sprinkled in there. I'm not saying that everything that has happened has been faked, but more likely that it was set up to play out in a specific way. Imagine that our cities are just recycled. That would be too crazy, right?
It's not that crazy. It'd actually be super cool. It's just, and I did see some of the evidence on that night. It just wasn't great evidence from everything I saw. A lot of it hinged on old maps that were not very accurate. It's not like every map made from old times was right on the money, obviously, because they didn't have the same technology we did. So a lot of it was guesswork. Some of it was just blatantly lies. There was a lot of problems with that as evidence. And then one of them being like the mud flood, which buried half of the buildings underground, is an outrageous thing to claim. So a lot of things that they'd show, I don't think it was this channel, but a couple of other channels would show like when you dig underneath a building, you can see that the building extends a little bit further beneath. It's like, okay, I don't think I need to explain why that happens and why that's there. It's just there wasn't a ton of like compelling stuff. But I love it because it's just one of the harmless, more interesting ones. I had no problem with it. Teaching that everything in history is a lie is a little dangerous, but it's framed in a way where it's just about how civilization came to be. So it's not like harmful or anything. Thanks to the resub. Football, Timbo, Shiban, and the Prime, Kelvin. You see the Goatman video on the cheating epidemic? No, I can't say I did. Sacramento is literally built on top of existing buildings. Yeah, not just Sacramento though. There's a couple other places, but it's not Tartaria. They're not built on Tartarian underground cave dwelling society. But yeah, it's not just Sacramento. Oh, we were just talking about it like 6 months ago. There's another city that has like a literal city underneath it too. I can't remember which one it is now. But there's a couple. There's a couple big ones. I think it was Seattle. Might have been Seattle. Yeah, that's not uncommon. It's not proof of Tartaria though. You can actually find a ton of information on why that is the case. But the belief here is that all of that's a lie, and it all ties back to this super hyper advanced civilization from of Tartaria. Thanks, Resub Duke. He gave a ton of other city. Yeah, like I said, it's not uncommon. But the whole belief hinges on everything, as he just said in that video. Everything you've been fed in history is a lie except for a couple of sprinkled truths. Which is a little dangerous to be saying, to say everything in history is a lie. I'm sure there is a lot of fabricated history out there that's accepted as fact right now, but to say all of it's a lie is very bold. And then to tie it back into Tartaria, when there's overwhelming evidence to explain why some cities are built on top of other buildings, is a little extreme. He didn't say everything. What? That was literally his words, not
For
mine,
example. But more like, essentially, it all begins with all our taught history being, for the most part, a lie.
right? All of our taught history, for the most part, being a lie, aka everything, and then the sprinkled truths.
So much so that it's mind-numbing to even fathom. Sure,
you
there
not
are likely
even
some
listen to it?
truths sprinkled in there. I'm not saying that everything that has happened has been faked, but more likely that
See? All of our taught history is a lie, for the most part, except for a couple sprinkled truths. Have you... I didn't... Have you... What? Have I what? You're just a CIA goon trying to cover up the Tartarian genocide. I can't remember what the explanation was for why the Tartarians ceased to exist and the cities were ruined and built on top of. I can't quite recall. But I feel like if you were going to cover up Tartaria being, like, destroyed and everyone murdered, why wouldn't you have also covered up Christopher Columbus and his atrocities? Like, if you're going to do one, why not do the other? So just, I don't know, there's just so many, like, logical leaps that you have to just suspend your disbelief on to accept the Tartarian narrative, from everything I've heard from it. Granted, I didn't finish all of the documentaries or anything. It's sad that someone will defend this kind of belief to death. I'd rather this be the kind of belief people defend to the death. I would much rather these be the beliefs people defend to the death. Because at the end of the day, it's just kind of like a fun, like, harmless one. Maybe all of our history, for the most part, is fake. And Tartaria was real. Doesn't change anything about modern living. Doesn't hurt anyone at all. So it doesn't matter. Like, it's totally fine. That's why I never have any problems with things like these kind of things. I am always a little put off when they say, like, believe everything is a lie. Or don't believe anything except me. Everything here is a lie except me. That's always a really weird thing to go with. I don't know if necessarily the Tartarian Society says that, but assuming they don't, it's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Thanks to tier 1 quick in the resub simply in infinity. Thanks to the bits girth in the resub Clint. Alright, hold on, Tiana's going to bed. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna say goodnight. Be right back.